I want you to show me approved. Show me pollinate. Show me agency. All right, working together, good. Awesome. Show me parasite. What did I just say to show me? Show me parasite. Remember what a parasite is? Parasite is a tiny little living thing living on another living thing. All right, show me parasite. All right, good. Now show me pesticide. There you go. A chemical. Pesticide is a chemical that kills. All right. Now I'm going to see if you remember these words. Try to remember the gestures, okay? What I'm going to give you next are some closed sentences, okay? Here are some closed sentences. And I'm going to read these to you before I pass out the baggies of words that are missing from these closed sentences. And you're going to have to try to fit in the vocabulary word in these sentences. So let me just read these to you real quick, and then I'll pass out the words, okay? All right. In 2006, that company asked the EPA to blank the sale of new pesticides. He then shipped them to California to blank the blossoming almond trees. Blank viruses, bacteria, and poor food supply may all play a role. However, scientists are concerned about the effects of mixing many different kinds of blank. The government's Environmental Protection blank, EPA, is responsible for taking harmful pesticides off the market. Okay? So what I want you to do next, I want you to try to fill in the closed sentences with the vocabulary words that we just went over. Okay? Go ahead and see if you can do that. Take them out of your baggie. And go ahead and see if you can fill them in. Oh, here you go. All right, you have one? You want to share it? All right, go ahead. Share your question nice and loud. Okay, so you want to know who put the pesticides there and why. All right? Good. That's a great question.
What was the name of the pesticide that got banned?
What was the name of the pesticide that was banned? Okay.
Like the company.
The company. Yeah, that's a good question. Great. My question was, what if we didn't have these?
The world
died.
Yeah, blew out a little bit.
We couldn't have almonds like flowers.
You think they would affect it so bad that we wouldn't have any of these plants? I wonder.
The animals that could really.
Okay. Go ahead, share yours.
I think that if there were no bees, I think there would be oxygen.
Okay, why do you think that?
Oh, because bees pollinate plants, and a tree gives out oxygen, and a tree is a plant.
Right, you learned that in science about how plants do that. Great. I like how you made that connection.
If we keep building more cities and trees are knocked down, then we would die.
If we didn't have the oxygen, if we didn't have the plants to produce it, yeah, that would definitely be a problem. For sure. All right. Great. You want to share yours? No? Okay, you don't have to. All right. The last thing we're going to do, boys and girls, is that we are going to draw multiple conclusions, okay? So keep that in front of you and look at this sheet here. Okay? This is a graphic organizer sheet that's going to help us draw multiple conclusions on certain things and people within the story. The first conclusion we're going to draw is going to be about beekeepers, and we're going to do that one together. So this first column here is my conclusion. And the second column is evidence from the text. You know how we've been reading detectives going back to the text and locating evidence and then recording it? All right, so that's what we're going to do next. Just to remind you, the two things that you need to remember when drawing conclusions is take what's in your head and what we learned from our friends here today about what we know about bees, hives, and honeybees, and connect it to what we've read in the article. So we want to do two things. We want to take what we have in our head, and we want to take what we know in the article and use that evidence to help draw our conclusion. Does that make sense? All right, we've done that before, okay? So I'm going to leave this here for us in case we need to refer back to it. We want to use those two things. So let's go ahead and let's look at the first one together. Remember, we're going to look at the beekeeper, and we want to, in that first column there, we want to think of our conclusion. What do we know about beekeepers? What conclusion can we draw about beekeepers?
They take care of the bees.
All right, how many agree that we can draw the conclusion that beekeepers take care of bees? You guys agree with that one? All right, let's go ahead and write that down in my conclusion. I totally agree with that conclusion. But now, you need to prove that with evidence from the text. That's the second thing we want to do when we're drawing conclusions. So let's go back to the text, and let's see where we can find evidence that the beekeepers are taking care of the bees. We want to write it word for word. Let's go back and find that evidence, and let's underline that evidence. Where can we find evidence to support that the beekeepers take care of the bees?
In number 2, like did you print that he was taking care of the bees in number 2 because he said that he would go check on them to see if like they were okay and that he found them that they were not.
All right, let's everybody go to paragraph 2. Can you read the sentence that shows that he is taking care of the bees, or the beekeeper is taking care of bees?
But in 2010, when Brown checked the hive, he was shocked. Hundreds of the bees were hundreds of the beehive were empty.
Would you guys say that's pretty good evidence to show that he is taking care of the bees? I mean, he's checking on the hives, right? All right, let's go ahead and underline that evidence.
I bet he checked it every day.
You bet he checks it every day? Well, it's his job. He's got to take care of them. So right there, Brownie checked on the hives. He was shocked. The hives were empty. So let's write down as our evidence, I'm going to make, say, paragraph 2. So paragraph 2, Browning checked on the hives. So that is outstanding evidence to support our conclusion that beekeepers take care of the bees.
That's a lot.
All right, everyone have that down? All right. Now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more things or people that you need to draw conclusions about. So what I want you to do is pick only 3 of them. You might pick pesticide companies, bees, pesticides, the environment, or consumers. So I want you to pick 3 of those, and I want you to draw a conclusion and then take evidence just like we did with beekeepers, right out of the text and write it right here. If you don't put the evidence there, I won't know if you're making it up. So I need you to make sure that you have the evidence to support your conclusions, okay? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and pick 3, draw a conclusion with what you have in your head, use information from the text. Go ahead and do those 3, and then we'll share some at the end.